Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to the Cheap Seats. WLCN 96.3 FM. Listen to us on the go. Download that Mixler app or watch our live stream on YouTube. Scott Kirby, Joe Ryan, Lloyd Kirby, Jim Ash here this morning. We're at the Lincoln Rec Center for the, how many years? John Welsh tournament. How many years has this been going on?
You know what? Forever, it seems like. I mean, how long did you do biddy basketball and you ran into this?
Oh.
I mean, what were those years, right?
Years and years, yeah.
It was a very well-oiled machine when you were doing it.
You're very well-oiled. Just a couple of rough spots, but hey.
Were parents ever rough spots?
No comment.
Okay, good.
You were a parent once.
Keep the show moving.
Were you ever rough on
I never
guys?
yelled at them
No?
doing that stuff. No.
Back in the day?
Basketball.
Back in the day when you were energetic, you never yelled at anybody?
I yelled at kids playing football in high school, but I never yelled at kids in their junior high messing around with stuff.
Well, anyway, we got a full slate of basketball today in Lincoln. I think every gym that we have in town is being utilized for the John Welsh tournament fundraiser for the junior high.
So do you know, did they get like LCU gym opened up, and did we get Lincoln College gyms?
That I do not know. I'm very doubtful.
Yeah, I just know.
With those gyms being shut down, I'm sure it's probably a liability issue. You know all about liability.
I know about liability.
So yeah, that's
735-4385. Give me a call.
We'll talk about liabilities and life insurance and
disability
stocks
insurance,
and bonds and everything.
Get yourself some long-term care coverage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got it all.
Yeah, so if you're a basketball fan, you want to watch some young kids, some future railers. I mean, we got teams from all over the place. I know from Chicago, surrounding cities. I don't know, probably some from out of state.
Oh, certainly some from out of state. I just saw Captain Kirk Whiteman, two-time national JUCO champion, over here coaching these kids. And now that guy, those Whitemans, they like that basketball. I'm going to tell you
Live and breathe it. And I tell you what, they've got a daughter playing basketball right now, doing a fantastic job. We'll talk about that a little bit later as the Lady Railers advancing to the Super Sectional in Taylorville. Boy, exciting. Went over to Rochester the other night to watch that. Boy, they're a fun team to watch.
Oh, yeah, I watched it on TV, and I know that these guys were very impressed. The radio show was where they got to put their table and do the game from, right in the middle
of the
action.
That is good as where they stuck us at Champaign Central.
Yes, it was just like that.
Yeah.
But a fun game to watch, and the girls took control, and then I put the clock on them at the end. And, I mean, that's in a sectional championship, you're putting a clock on people. So,
so
that girls' team is fun.
They are fun.
And a huge crowd there.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome. They
and it's only going to be bigger Monday.
Oh,
you take that crowd and add about another 300 or 400. And
over at T-ville.
Over at T-ville. So, yeah, that place will be rocking. And we're going to talk to Taylor about, 9:30, 9:40, somewhere in there. Let her sleep in a little bit and get her girls. I'm sure they have practice somewhere today. I don't know if they even have a gym to practice.
Practicing at 10.
High fives?
Practicing at 10. I tell you what, Lloyd's
on it.
For not being a very smart guy, he's on things. He's on top of things.
He may not look real bright, but he is.
Hey, look how he's just thinking and plotting now. Yeah. He doesn't even look us in the eye.
And Jim as well.
Well, no, Jim just chuckles.
That's your Lincoln morning show right there. I mean, that's what you get.
That's what the Timmy song.
That's what you get. Yeah, unfortunately, our boys last night, we lose to Muhammad Seymour 35-33. You know, they say it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Mm-hmm. Well, it's hard to beat a team 4 times, and we ran into some trouble last night with Muhammad Seymour. Railers just haven't been playing their best basketball the past 2 or 3 weeks, and well, not 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 games, I should say. So unfortunately for them, their season comes to an end last night, trying to get that elusive regional championship. And you got to give credit to Muhammad Seymour. They slowed us down, and we just had a hard time scoring last night. Just couldn't get it going, and it kind of carried over from the a couple nights before when we played a Danville team. And
let's talk about. I tell you, I had some people over at the house and this and that. You know how a zoo just starts to happen, and I missed I missed the game, and then I said to Michelle, throw the game on. And as soon as she got on, I only turned it on, and there was 1 minute left in the game. I heard you over there cackling. And
I'm a cackler.
1 minute left, and so I didn't see anything. What was the determining factor in the game? What you couldn't hit shots?
I would say free throws were one part of the game. They shot several free throws. We only shot a handful. They made their free throws. They only missed maybe one or two, and just I don't know. It just we didn't have that aggressiveness, I guess you would say.
There's a ball right at us.
It's going to hit our equipment. But anyway, it's just one of those games, and I think not to make any excuses because there aren't any, but it's just that atmosphere.
Well, I was going to ask, have we played in that gym before?
No.
It looked like it was a very...
if we never play in that gym again, I would be grateful. They don't even, Champaign Central don't even play their games in that gym. They play at the old school.
Really?
Yeah, there's just no atmosphere. It's kind of like this. Just everything wide open.
Stale.
Yeah,
was the word I was going to use.
Pre-game, they didn't play any music. It was just boring. There was nothing to really get the kid. There was no music. There was just no.
How'd they get us?
And everything seemed rushed. We're doing our pregame. We have 4 minutes on the clock, and they turn the clock off and start playing the national anthem. So that puts us out of sync. And
they did that.
Yeah, we got sponsors to get through, and and an agenda. We actually have an agenda.
Well, that's an organized event.
Yeah, and just I don't know. Everything seemed, and it was that way the first game too. Everything just seemed rushed. Like get them in, get them out. It was just it wasn't a good basketball atmosphere whatsoever. I'm not making any excuses because Muhammad played in the same thing. It just, you start a regional, there's got to be some kind of hype, music, playing some music during warm-up. It was just silence.
Well, if the IHSA is listening, let's just take that away from him and move it to Lincoln because we've got fun at our place.
Yeah, we're fun. I mean, Joe Ryan's just a fun guy.
I don't organize basketball events, but it's a fun place.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Al obviously after the game, and he's disappointed, and we got some seniors on that team that that was their last game, and Cook, Nelson, Saucy, Biven, who am I missing?
Good players.
So, that was their last game. That's not the way they wanted to go out, obviously. And that's not like the kids weren't trying. It's just one of those games where you go up against a team 4 times and they get you when it counts.
Yeah, they get the big win.
And they did it.
Go 1-3, and
they did it last year to us as well.
Well, have we not won a regional in 4 years? Did I hear Al say that correctly?
Yeah.
These seniors never won a regional?
Yeah, it's been 4 years. And not to take anything away from this team. They finished, 26-5? 26-6.
It's a pretty good record.
That's a good record, And the teams they lost to in the regular season, you lose to a Quincy, you lose to Mount Zion twice, and then some 4A schools, and then last night to Muhammad, but
I saw Quincy won. Quincy won last night, beat Collinsville.
MacArthur beat Mount Zion in overtime, so that was a good game. We had J Mac over there, him and Zach Dom. They're over there scouting that, just in case that we move on. And we're going to have those two on the show here in the next week or two. Hopefully, we're not going to have a show.
That'll be an intelligent show.
Hopefully next Saturday. We don't know what's going on yet, but I don't know if there'll be a cheap seats, depending on what the Lady Railers do.
Hopefully we don't have
It'd be nice if we could take this show on the road.
Yeah, on the road. Let's take this show on the road, Jim. Here we go.
Jim,
grab the Scooby-Doo van and let's do it.
He shakes his head like, okay.
You know what he's thinking.
Yeah, you guys aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the only place we're going is home.
Yeah, so we won't know really what's going on until Friday night at midnight, where we're going to be, what we're going to do. But
even if we have an agenda.
Yeah, but I know one thing's for sure. We're getting J Mac and Zach on this show.
Be a very intelligent show.
And that's going to be a full hour. They're not just doing one segment. They're here.
I think we should separate them like in sound booths, and then we can ask them questions about each other, like the old dating game or something, and see what their answers are, because they've spent so much time together.
Yeah, a lot of time, a lot of driving. A lot of driving, Joe.
A lot of driving.
Who does the driving, J-Mac or Zach?
Oh, I'd say J-Mac's driving.
J-Mac's driving?
Yeah, wouldn't you say that? He doesn't look like a good rider.
No, I mean, it's good conversation, though. You know?
Oh, yeah.
You don't need a radio if you're riding with J-Mac.
No, you don't.
I mean, you think Zach ever just drowns him out? Like, geez.
Well, I'm sure Zach probably just gets in the back seat and acts like he's got something to do.
Yeah. Talked to J-Mac last night. You know, they were heading over to Mattoon to do some scouting, and you know, they're the freshman coaches, so they kind of get. I don't want to say the crap jobs, because going scouting, that's very important, you know, very important part of, you know, how you prepare for the team. But, you know,
in the old days,
they do.
Before we would exchange film in football.
Film. What's film? That was the freshman coach's jobs, and we'd have to go. The big old VHS tapes?
Well, no, you weren't supposed to use those. You had to go over with paper and write down, draw up plays every time they did stuff, you know, and one of you would take offense and one of you would take defense, and that was the old Big 12, and we'd have to drive to all those faraway places.
You didn't have cell phones back then, did you?
No, there were no cell phones.
How'd you communicate? How did we get by?
I don't have any idea.
20, 25, 30 years ago. How did we get by?
You know, wouldn't it be nice to just have them say, hey, you know what, June 1st, we're just eliminating cell phones, and let's go back to the olden days.
Yeah.
I think I'd like it.
You think things would have been different back in the day if you had a cell phone when you were a kid?
Don't know if I'd be out of prison yet, but yeah, probably.
A lot of undocumented stuff.
You know, we give these kids trouble today with those phones, but gosh, think if we would have had them when we were kids, it'd be the same mess.
Yeah, you know what I got to listen to this morning? The Illini guys. I mean, they're on from 6 to 8 now. Why is that? Huh? Has it? Yeah. All right, it tells you when I get out of bed, Jim.
Thanks for the support.
Yeah. So let's do a little bit of the Illini guys today. Larry and Brad over there, they do a great job, and you know, we get them on here once in a while. We're supposed to meet up with them sometime, but you know, you see how that worked out.
We're hard. People get pinned down. They're wanting us to go to all those places and see them, and we just can't.
I mean, Brad wants some mellow cream. We'll bring him a box of mellow cream.
Bring some mellow cream. Yeah, we're not afraid.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll come over to the state tournament. We'll see them there.
Maybe.
Redbird Arena.
Let's hope.
Now let's back up a second. The boys. So who's playing who then?
Muhammad Seymour will be playing MacArthur at MacArthur.
Oh.
And then I think it's Morton and SHG. That's a tough little sectional right there.
Oh,
that's some good teams. You know, MacArthur, we saw them a few weeks ago. And if the Railers would have played the game that they played against MacArthur, because that was by far their best game of the season. I mean, the Railers are, I don't want to say unbeatable, but they're pretty darn good.
Well, and we talked about that, how I just, you know, Neil, they're peaking at the right time. You know, it's tournament time, and they're playing their best ball. So
yeah, so, you know, it is what it is. That's why you play the game. And congratulations to Muhammad. Moving on. Now, I don't know that we'll see Muhammad ever again unless we do meet up in another regional, because obviously next year we're back in the Central State
Muhammad
8.
was popping over for the Turkey Day tournament.
Yeah, they do. I guess I don't know if that was just a one-year thing, or have they been in it? They've been in it
several times.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe we'll meet up with them in that. But yeah, moving back over to the Apollo next year, the Central State 8
CSA,
from the Apollo.
Fun.
There we go. Yeah, and that just seems like home, doesn't it? Central State 8.
It does. And I tell you, you know, I've had, you know, some people say to me, well, you know, yeah, it's you know, it's going to hurt football. It's going to hurt football.
See,
I don't think it is.
No.
It's not the olden days of where you had to pay all those Goliaths all the time.
Right.
You're going to get 2 non-conference games, and you can schedule some teams in there that, you know, that are Clinton and some of those schools. So you're going to get some W's.
First one to come to mind.
Yeah, and you know what? You're going to catch some of those schools at the right time.
Yeah.
And I really feel like Lincoln can be on that bubble every year. 4 and 5, 5 and 4.
Is Quincy? Are they coming in?
Yeah,
just
Quincy
for football.
Yes.
Quincy Notre Dame coming in just for football. So you know, it's going to be, what is it, 12 teams? Quincy comes in to make it 12.
That'll make it an even 12.
So there's going to be what, east and west, north, whatever, north or south. I don't know how they're going to, name
we
it.
don't see SHG.
Yeah, you're not going to see SHG. You're going to see Rochester probably.
You're going to see
maybe a Glenwood.
You're going to see Glenwood. Yeah.
You're going to see. But you're going to also.
There's a couple of powers there that you're going to see. But I always say this, as a football guy, it's. Let's face it, it's fun to watch and play state championship teams. It is. You can say it's not. You don't might get beat, whatever.
Get beat 75-0.
But you learn from it. You learn from it, and you just see what you have to do to step your game up to that program.
Yeah, it sure does humble you.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they're good.
Yeah.
Obviously, they win state championships.
And we're not saying the Apollo's a good conference as well. Nothing to take away from them.
But they don't have the perennial state championship.
It's not SHG, Rochester. And you look at Jacksonville, they're down.
Yeah, they're down.
Glenwood, they're
good.
They're good, but they're not the Glenwood of the past.
No, but it's still a school that's very big. Yeah. That's a tough game.
Then your Springfield school's beatable. Your Decatur school's beatable.
Yeah.
So
I think we can be on the bubble every year. 4 and 5, 5
high.
6 and 3.
They have football.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Right.
They're like middle tier. They're beatable. So a lot of these football guys that are kind of concerned about moving over to Central State A, I think will be just fine. Coach Silkey's going to have them ready. He's going to prepare just like he would any other.
And we've had some good years.
Yeah, and we got speed. You got Keon. He's going to be a senior, and he's going to be probably
even football
faster,
numbers are as high as they've ever been.
Yeah. So.
I think
exciting.
We'll be okay.
Yeah, and we can talk a little football now that boys basketball's over, but tough one for the Railers last night.
We're going to get talking baseball, too.
Yeah.
Tracks coming.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, let's take a commercial break. We come back, we'll talk a little baseball. Spring right around the corner. We got 2 new fields, turf.
That's awesome.
So, they're excited to get out on that thing. And we'll have to get Komnick on here because he says he might be helping out a little bit with baseball.
That's what I heard. Yeah, Komnick. He's a baseball coach.
He's going to put on a uni.
They all think they're getting in the game, those baseball coaches.
Do. And
Komnick. And that's what
Komnick may just go out and get in the game.
Neil needs to start wearing a basketball outfit.
Jersey.
Yes.
And tight,
the whole outfit.
Tight shorts.
Like baseball.
Yeah.
And I think that'd make the games a lot more entertaining.
Oh, yeah?
J-Mac would be in a uniform. Neil in one.
Boy, yeah.
We'll get Farmer in one. Although Farmer probably still looks pretty good in his.
We need to take a commercial break on that note. So that we will do. All right, we'll be back after these messages.
We scored? Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
This is Nick Maton with the Philadelphia Phillies, and you're listening to The Cheap Seats with Joe, Jake, Jim, Lloyd, and Chabadoo on 96.3 FM, WLCN.
To the Cheap Seats, WLCN 96.3 FM. Scott Kirby, Joe Ryan. Where's Jake?
Furniture Jake, you know what? He's hard to keep track of these days.
He's just he's very unreliable.
He's very unreliable. I think he flies to all these exotic places, and then he doesn't tell us where he is.
I'm just proud that you showed up.
You know what? I'm here most of the time, except when I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of exotic places, you and Tom Brady, did you guys plan your getaway down in Bora Bora or somewhere like that?
Well, he didn't even talk to me about that. I'm not upset about it. He needs some free time before he starts babbling on the NFL games. Is he taking a year off, or is he coming out next year?
I think he's taking a year off and then kicking Greg Olson out of the booth, taking his spot.
Why wouldn't you? You know?
Yeah, so
I tell you what, I rode on a plane one time with Joe Theismann, and he's a friend.
I thought you met him in the bathroom.
Well, he was on the plane first, then the bathroom.
Oh.
But he was doing some announcing then, and I watched him on the plane. He was like just an aisle across from me, and did he scour through 3 papers on that flight? Like, read every box score, every article, everything, so he would pop into that thing with all this knowledge. You know what I mean? Yeah. Kind of like we do before we come on here. It was very, it was very reminiscent of how we do things here. It was reminding me of.
Right, and it's other sports shows and broadcasters. They do a little research before the game. We just come in at willy-nilly, and that's what makes us so good.
Anything can happen. Well, that's #1 ranked sports show between 9 and 10 in Logan County. How many years?
Oh, I've been doing it. Me and Lloyd, we tried to figure out how long we've been doing this, and we never really did come to any conclusion, except for a long time.
You two guys are going to need a calculator to try to figure it out.
We've been doing it for a while, and I don't know how Jim still lets us on air, but
well, I think he obviously has no one else, so he wouldn't let anyone on.
He's losing a little bit of his hearing, and he can't really hear us.
Hey, he can see us.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're here at the Rec Center for the annual John Welsh tournament. I think over 144 teams or something like that in Logan County today. So a lot of our food vendors, businesses, they're going to really benefit from this today, because people need to eat. I'm sure our hotels are full. And so, great tournament put on by the junior high. You got Mr. Froby, Mr. Workman, Mr. Boehner at the junior high.
They're all here.
We saw Donnie Isles out here earlier, and just other names that, we don't even know. I know Bryson's over at Washington Monroe running that gym. So, yeah, this is a big deal every year, and it seems like it just grows and grows and grows. And I think one of these years, Joe, officiating is hard to come by. You're going to have to put on the black and white stripes and grab you a whistle and do some officiating.
I tell you, I would love to just argue with the coaches, but I'm not going to go out there.
Well, you're always talking about how you need a side job. You need more extra money.
Everybody just needs a little side job.
Yeah, there you go. That would be perfect for you.
I thought it was funny the other night from the view of the cheap seats. Well, cheap seats, I guess I should say, since for regular radio. Right in front of. Well, it wasn't really the cheap seats, but the view from our table the other night was right in front of the Rochester coaching staff.
Yeah.
And then so you had some people on him about how much he's out on the court talking to the officials. I was kind of laughing, but we don't have that seat down there watching Neil. Neil seems to get out and talk to the officials a little bit.
And that's something that I think, I don't want to sound arrogant here, but a lot of I don't know if we take it for granted what WLCN has to offer. Because you go to Rochester, did they have a radio station? I know 1450 was there, Tim Schweitzer, but he kind of just follows around, the big games and
I don't think they do. They have Rocket. They have Rocket TV, but for football, I don't know if they're doing that. For basketball.
I don't think they do. But none of this is possible without all the sponsors we've had, and we have like 3 or 4 pages of sponsors, and I apologize we didn't get through them all last night, just because of the pace of the game and the flow of it. So I know we usually try to read them on air as well as put them, their commercial that they put on the airwaves, but the sponsors that have came out and really stepped up to do Railer basketball, boys and girls, is phenomenal. And we're going to be looking for some more this baseball season, because I think we might try to do some baseball games.
It'd be very interesting to do some baseball games, I think.
Yeah, nothing like a Saturday late morning, early afternoon baseball game. We won't do a doubleheader because I don't know if we can stay awake that long. Well, and when I say we, I mean you.
They're going to move things. They're going to move things along.
Yeah.
Is that coach? Yeah. As we just got this in off the wire. Look how serious he is when he looks at us. This just came in off the wire that he had resigned. Searching for his name.
JR.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not even going to say
Coach
it.
JR.
I'm going to say it.
Who could come the closest?
I'm going to say it. JR.
Bordonis. I bet it's silent. Bourdain. I don't know his name.
Bordeaux?
JR
Bordeaux.
Bridget Bardot.
Anyway, the head coach of the girls basketball team put in his resignation.
Said he needed more time for his family.
Yeah. Took a beat down by the Railers and wanted to call her quits.
He's been over there a long time.
Yeah,
a lot of people like him.
Yeah, he's a good coach. And, we'll talk to Coach Rohr here in about, 5-10 minutes. But we'll talk to her and we'll get into the game a little more in depth and the game coming up. I know she's went down and watched Highland play a couple times during the season, so she has a pretty good take on what to expect for that. So,
hold on now, Now listen, J-Mac's going to help us. J.R. Baduris. J.R. Baduris. And look how he spelled it wrong. He spelled that out for us so we could say it. I'll tell you what, J-Mac, you're really pretty smart. I don't know why that Scotty says stuff about you, but you're really pretty bright guy.
I love J-Mac. I would never say anything bad.
The minute you got that Ticketmaster organized, I knew there's a bright spot in your future.
Well, with high school basketball going to GoFan, it's really hurt jmacticketmaster.com.
Yeah, so I don't know if he's changed his number or not. J-Mac, you want to send us your number? We'll get the new number out for you.
Everything's online now, so he's looking for a side job too.
Hey, I went over to his side of the world a few weeks ago. Went over to the comedy club and hung out in Mesa City. And
was he the feature?
No, he wasn't, but he could be there. He could have done it. Here she comes.
He's a funny guy.
Jog in here, pop in
right
here.
On cue. All right, now
we're not even giving you a warm up, Coach. You want to go to commercial and we'll come back?
Yeah, let's go to commercial.
Let's go to commercial.
We'll take a quick little break here. We'll be back.
Donating pet food can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
This is Lauren Wallace, and you're listening to Cheap Seats with Joe, Jake, Jim, Lloyd, and Scott on 96.3 FM.
Are made of these, Joe. Sweet dreams.
I was more worried about Lauren Wallace and Quincy Blue Devils. He jumped over there, and they're a big winner last night. They're still alive.
Speaking of big winner, we got one with us right now, Coach Rohr. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
I know you don't like mornings, but it's just something you got to do when you're in the spotlight now, and coming off a big win, a sectional championship at Rochester against Rochester. You got to think going into that game that Rochester, they're good year in, year out. That was probably going to be one of your toughest matchups of the season. So the Butterflies were obviously flowing.
Absolutely.
To start out the game, Rochester looked like they had a game plan of moving the ball, which kind of had us on our heels at first. They kind of slowed it down, and that's not typically the type of game you guys play.
I mean, no. We did kind of expect that from them. Corey and I had talked about, okay, they might slow the game down, but a lot of the film we watched, they didn't. They're a pretty athletic team. Kaylin Reed, she's a quick player. They like to push the ball too. That was like a key of ours, was make sure we're getting back on defense because they like to push the ball. They showed us a little something different than we were expecting, and you get that from a really good coach, and JR's a great coach. So they did a really great job against us, I thought, and the score at the end of the game does not show what a dogfight it was.
Right.
And it was a fight, and we knew it would be, and I think that my girls came out and they stepped it up, and we got the job done.
And it looked like Rochester, a lot of cross-court passes trying to keep you guys, moving, because you're not going to, And at the end of the day, you guys just warmed down. I mean, with your resiliency on defense and offense, the way you guys move, you guys just wear teams down, where physically at the end, both teams are exhausted, but the opponent, they can't, I guess, take that game plan any further just because they can't. They're too tired, and then that's when you guys pull away.
And I think that's there's something to be said about the 1-2-2 in that, and you see our boys do it too. They wear teams down. Our kids are just very resilient. They don't give up. They know how to win, and they fight to the end. We talked about at the beginning of the game, we're going to put the pedal to the metal and we're not going to let up. We're going to go, and they definitely did that. They for sure did that in the third quarter, and that's something we talked about at halftime for sure. Was Rochester was down 7-8 points to Mahomet, on Tuesday, and they came back and won it. And, so at halftime, we're reminding the kids, hey, this game is far from over. 11 points is not enough. No. We wanted to go from 11-point lead at the half to at least 20 by the end of the third. And I think we held them to 3 points in the third quarter, and that's quite an accomplishment against a very well coached, very skilled Rochester team.
Yeah, and
on their home floor.
On their home floor, and with the crowd that was there. But your girls are they're so fundamentally sound, and it seems like that they know where each other is supposed to be on the court at all times. Just with your passing, the knowledge of the game, and basketball IQ is a big thing. And your girls, they're smart. They don't try to do more than they can, and they know where everyone's at on the court at all times, it seems.
Absolutely. I mean, basketball IQ is extremely high. They understand the game really well. They run, the system that we're running. They execute. But I think that one of the most important things about this team is their chemistry. And because they have such great chemistry, they're all really good friends. They hang out together. They laugh together. It's not just show up to practice or show up to games and we're playing. These kids, they love one another. And I think you see that on the floor, just in their ability and their willingness to share the basketball. And it's a lot of fun to watch a team that has great chemistry, and this team has great chemistry.
Sometimes when you get into like the position that we're in, with Froby going to be, up for the Gatorade player, jealousy sets in. You have these things that all can go wrong. It doesn't seem that way with these girls. Like they're very selfless. Let's win the game.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter. And I think that really makes them gel.
It does. And I think one of the special things is, they're all excited. They're excited for Chloe and her accomplishments. They're excited for Becca and her accomplishments. Whatever, when Jenna broke the record, everyone was cheering. Everybody was pumped. Taryn had a great game against Rochester.
Oh, yeah, she
Everybody
did.
was pumped about that. There is no jealousy. There is just love for one another. And I think that is one of the keys to our success this year is just how much they support one another.
It's the key, yeah. They do gel. They came over. I watched the after the game and the post game show, and they all came over with big smiles on their face. They're all just having the time of their lives. It's great.
Yeah, it's a lot
winning
of
does
fun.
that.
Yeah, well, winning does do it.
Winning does do that, but it's a fun group. We laugh a lot. We have a good time, but they also know how to get down to business. And
and everybody seems involved. I mean, you've got obviously Froby's the leader of the team, but then you have Garrett's down low with Whiteman, and then I love the feistiness of Becca. She's probably one of the smallest out there, but she's feisty.
She is feisty.
A couple of times the other team trying to rip the ball away from her after the whistle's blown, and she's just now just
we
the
talked
grit,
about that at practice
and you don't see that a lot from girls, and that makes your team just that much better when you got to have that grittiness.
Oh, absolutely. And that's something we talked about at practice yesterday. I think that maybe early in the game somebody had taken the ball from her, and she said at practice, no, nobody's going to do that again. And that's just this team. And it might be Becca that's saying that, but they all feel that way. From Chloe to Piper coming off the bench, they all feel that way.
Yeah, and then you got your shooters and Stolzenberg and Bowman. Hit the three. I mean, they shoot the ball well.
They do.
And it's just all assets of the game is covered.
Absolutely.
And they work as a team. And the passing, some of those passes that they made are just like, it's just mind-boggling. But they know where everybody's at, and they run the play, and it works out. And I guess the more exciting thing is juniors and sophomores.
Yeah.
So you're going to see
freshmen.
And freshmen. You're going to see the same thing out there next year.
Yes.
So, I mean, not to get ahead of ourselves, because still have some work to do.
Yeah, we got to talk about this year.
Yeah, this
let's talk about
from over.
Let's talk about Highland then. Monday night we head to Taylorville. I just saw Lloyd just sent me something that said the gym holds 1,300 people.
Okay.
So that's going to have to be 1,000 Lincoln fans, wouldn't you think? Would Highland have 300 there?
I would think, Lincoln's going to come out and really support us. They just do. They have. It's an amazing thing. Railer Nation's always willing to make a trip to support their kids, and it's a lot of fun. But, I went and watched Highland at Highland, and their gym was packed.
Okay.
So, I walked in, I was like, we had to park all the way in the back of the parking lot, and I'm thinking, there's a lot of people here for a girls' game. And,
did you have any Lincoln gear on, or did you go covert?
No, covert.
Roar Farms.
Yeah. I think that I don't know, I think I had my congenital heart defect awareness sweatshirt on.
Okay,
just low key. Low key. I'm pretty sure I wore a baseball cap too.
Yeah, there you go.
Nobody's gonna recognize me.
So,
do you have a beard on?
I'm just a fan.
That'll look a little goofy, Joe.
But no, they're a decent team. They've got a really nice big inside. They've got a good shooter that reminds me a lot of Jenna. They have a couple good guards. One of them's young. She's only a freshman. they play good defense on the team I watched. Now, luckily, I was able to watch them play against a team who also ran a 1-2-2. So I got to, kind of see what they were going to do against that. And then we found some other film on them where they're playing against teams who are either in a zone or in a 1-2-2 of some sort. So, we prepared yesterday for them. We're going to prepare the next, today here and then tomorrow as well. Just get ready for them. I mean, you give your kids all the knowledge you can, and then they'll execute on the floor.
Well, if we were to ask you the key to the game, what do you think you have to? I mean, obviously you want to play your game, but I mean, what do you have to do to them, you think?
Well, I think we need to do a good job of pressuring the basketball. We have to rebound. We have to rebound. We pride ourselves on playing great defense. We did that against Rochester. We played one of our best defensive games of the year against Rochester. We have to come out and do that again on Monday. And I just think that as long as we're playing Lincoln basketball and we execute our offense but play great defense and rebound, I think that we're going to have ourselves a good game.
Now, do you think you might have a little bit of an advantage just because you've played in that gym over the past several years? You got very loose rims over in Taylorville. Those hoops are very forgiving. So does that give you maybe a little upper hand just because you know how that gym?
I do feel fortunate that we're playing in a gym that my kids have played in before, a couple of times, and so that's nice. But it almost feels like it could be a home court because they're in our conference, but you only play there about once a year,
right.
So, and we played there one of our first games of the season. That was back in November. So, but I have no doubt that my kids will rise up and they'll play really well there. And I think it'll be a good game. We hadn't played at Rochester since the year previous because this year Rochester came to us.
I didn't realize that.
So, and that's, it's funny because I had, kind of said, man, I wish it had been switched. I wish that we had gone to Rochester this year and the year previous they had come to us. So we could have at least played on their floor once this year. But, the kids, I think that as long as, there's a rim and a floor and a ball, the kids are going to show up to play.
Yeah, you got to do the old Indiana, the old Hoosier. You take the tape measure and you measure. See, it's the same distance, same
right.
size court. It doesn't matter where you play, but but very, very exciting. And Monday, that's a couple days away. I know the girls are preparing today.
Yep.
Do you have a gym to practice in? This
we
is
do.
crazy.
They booked out the front gym to make sure that if we had made it this far, or unfortunately the boys didn't win last night, but had the boys won last night so that we could both practice for our upcoming games this week. So the front gym is open now. Tomorrow we can't practice till evening, like 6 to 8.
That's perfect for you. You sleep in.
Right.
Take your time.
Well, now let's move forward a bit because that will be a huge week, and they shouldn't even have classes after the win.
Cancel school.
After the win Monday night, there should be no school Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll talk to the board about that.
Well, that also could affect you. You take them out of your.
I prefer them to stay in their routine.
Right. You've got a routine.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I was going with it. We get to Friday. Aren't we the opening game?
I think we're the 11 o'clock game.
11:45.
That's pretty early.
Why? It's early.
Yeah, I've got a beef with that.
I don't know if it's the first game. Is it the first game?
I was told first game.
Okay.
But aren't all?
But I'm not an expert.
Yeah, I don't. Because is it?
I haven't looked that far to see what time we'd be playing.
It's fine.
I know who.
That's what we do.
I know who we could be playing. Because that's my job. But
so who is that? Who could you be playing?
Well, we could be playing Deerfield, which is who I think Deerfield's going to win. I think
back in your home turf over there, aren't we?
It is,
Deerfield?
yes. And they're a good team. They're real good. But we're not looking that far ahead. We got to get through Monday. We'll worry about Deerfield.
You know how exciting it'll be all week with that going on, leading into that Friday?
And it's our job to look ahead.
Yes, that's part of our job.
We're the what ifs, and let's look at it this way. As a coach, we know it's one game at a time, but it's fun to look ahead. It's fun.
It is going to be fun.
Until it's not fun, but I'm not even worried about that. But first things first, big game Monday. What do you tell your girls? obviously they're focused, and they're just going to do what they do. You're going to play your game. You're not going to change much. What do you tell your girls at practice today? Just because they've never been in this position. I don't know if you've ever been in this position to where you're the favorite. And, how do you keep them level-headed?
I just think that you focus on your goal. Your goal all season has been to go to state. Nothing has changed. We won a sectional, but we're still focused on that goal to make it to state. And part of that goal is winning a super. And that's been the goal all season. Nothing has changed. We won a regional. That was great and exciting. We won a sectional, which is amazing. That's a tough thing to do, to become an Elite 8 team. And they got it done, but we're not done yet. And that's something that we talked about yesterday. Like, enjoy this because it's so rare, but don't lose focus. Stay focused on what our goal has been all season, and our goal all season has been to get to state. And
they seem focused.
They're focused. I think that you saw a true celebration on Thursday when we won the sectional, and it was really fun to see my kids kind of come out of that, because they're so humble and they're so just focused on getting the job done that you don't see them celebrate too much, and they celebrated on Thursday, and that was a lot of fun to see them do that. But then yesterday you got to reel them back in. You got to say, hey, we're not done yet. There's a lot of season left to be played. We're wanting to play 3 more games. We want to play on Monday, and then we want to play Thursday, Friday. Or Friday, Saturday, not Thursday.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Practice Thursday.
We'll practice Thursday.
Well, you guys will probably travel Thursday. We're not looking that far ahead. We'll go Monday.
Sound like Coach Al right now.
Yeah, I know, but
it started to look like him.
Well, he's a pretty handsome fella.
I keep telling him we got to win on Monday first.
Yeah, well, Coach Al, when he's that confident, that it's a good thing. But
no, he's a great supporter, and I love the guy to death. So
he's all right guy.
Well, let's go to we talked earlier about JR. Resigned the day after it, and you had nice things to say about him.
JR is a great guy.
Yeah,
he's an outstanding coach. He's a great guy. I've actually known for a year that he was going to step down. He told me at the coaches banquet last year, and he asked me to keep it under my hat, so I did. And everybody was shocked, but I knew going to that game, if we won, that would be his last. And I told my husband the night before, I feel bad. I feel bad that I'm going to be the one that could end it, because I really respect him. I think very highly of him. He's very passionate about what he does, and he gets the best out of his kids. They're always in the hunt. They're always winning regionals, and they're always playing in sectionals, and he's been a lot of fun to coach against. And from day one, 11 years ago when I got the job, we were only winning 4 games, and he was a supporter of mine. And those are things that you don't forget as a coach. Those early days when we weren't good, we struggled to win games, and he would send me emails, you're doing the right things, keep going, keep pushing the girls, you've got it, you're doing the right things. And I remember one specific email he had sent me. We had played them, I think it was my first year coaching, and we played them really tough. He had a good team. We played them really tough. We lost by maybe 13, 14. It was a close game, and he said, I went back and I watched the film, and after I had, viewed the film, I realized that my kids weren't doing wrong things. Your kids were doing the right things, and you got them on the right track, and just keep going. And, that helps a young coach just to stay, motivated and stay in it. And not too many people, do those things. And he was definitely one of them. And I'm so grateful to that. And I haven't forgotten it.
Now, I've heard a lot of good things about him. Now, you mentioned 11 years. Did you think 11 years ago when you made this trip down south to this goofy little town in Lincoln from your northernness, did you ever think you'd be sitting in this? But you wanted to come here and win, but did you think you'd be sitting in this position today like this? Did you come down here and say, you know what, I'm going to make a run for some state championships?
Joe. Absolutely. And that's the goal. Why else do we do this?
Yeah.
You do it for a lot of reasons, because you love the game, you love the kids, you want to help the kids, be prepared for what's going to come later in life and give them great high school memories. But the goal is to make a state run. The goal is to win regionals and sectionals and, make that state run, win a super. And And so that was always a goal of mine. And it was a goal, when I first started, and Hannah Cameron was my very first group of freshmen, and she was the only one that hung out those 4 years. And when she was a senior, we played in a super. And, that was such a great accomplishment for that group of kids. And here we are again. And you have to be passionate about what you're doing. I'm not just going through the motions. I'm not here to just collect a paycheck. I want to win. I want to go to state. I want to, I want to accomplish all my dreams, just like I want my kids to accomplish all their dreams. And their dreams, of course, before mine. Luckily, this year, our dreams line up.
That's good. That's fun stuff. You came in here and you got this program rolling, you know what I mean? And all it's going to do now is just generate and build interest, from all the little girls that are watching.
And we want these girls to be involved and active. And, of course, I want them picking up a basketball and playing this amazing game that we love so much. But whether it's volleyball or tennis or whatever they choose to do, band, play, I want them to do it with passion. And it's something that I think we need to instill in our children, is to find something you love and do it passionately. And I think my girls are great role models for that.
And I know we talk about this a lot on here, but how important is it to your team this year that you have the multiple sport athletes, that come from all these different backgrounds of competition?
Absolutely. I think that I'm a true believer in these kids should do as much as they can while they're young. I have 3 sport athletes. I have 2 sport athletes. I have a four sport athlete. I think it's really important. I think they become better athletes the more they do. If you're only doing one thing, you're only working those muscles. If you're doing multiple things, you're working all your muscles. You're understanding different ways that different games can be played. You're getting coached in different ways. And I think that's a valuable thing, and I think that
Absolutely.
It shows on my team, because I only have maybe 1 or 2 kids that don't play multiple sports, and it's an important thing, I think. I'm a true believer in them doing. They're only going to be high school kids for 4 years. That's it. Do as much as you can. Be involved and enjoy it, because you're going to look back someday and wish that you had.
Yep.
And so I want my kids doing as much as possible.
And a lot of times that looking back only takes 1 year from stepping out and going, man, I wish I'd have done that. I wish I'd have done this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I talk to kids about it all the time.
Joe looks back a lot.
I live in the rearview mirror, my man. You know what I'm saying?
Only if. What if?
Yeah, well, what ifs?
Well, Coach, hopefully a busy week this week. I know today, tomorrow, maybe that nighttime practice isn't a bad thing, because you're instilling that knowledge and that you don't have as long to lose it,
Absolutely.
So, they wake up Monday morning and go to school, get on that bus and head to Taylorville.
Right.
And then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and these, Monday's a tough day of school if you're trying to learn.
Those.
If any teachers are out there listening right now, take it easy on them.
No, absolutely
keep them busy.
Just
keep them busy.
Do your routine. Keep these kids in their routine. We don't want a snow day. We want to be in school on Monday. We want.
Just no tests, because their minds might be a little somewhere else. We don't want to fail a test because they're thinking about
you too. You're
what
gotta
play
be teaching
coaches
that day.
Yeah, I'll be teaching.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And
I bet you'll be very focused on the.
I will be.
You'll see she's going to wheel in the VCR machine. They're going to watch.
My whole class is watching
a movie.
film that
Watch
day.
a movie. Yep.
Film day.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Well, Coach,
that clock will just be going.
Yeah.
I know it moves slow on game days, but. That's just part of it. That's why we do it,
Absolutely.
It's for games like this and days like that. So we're looking forward to it, and we're hoping to bring home a super sectional title and take our town
Put
to
it
state.
right here on this table. All this brass.
We're hoping as well, and I know you have practice right now that you're wanting to get to, just because you have things that you want to implement. You've only got 2 days to do it.
Right.
And so every minute is important, but we appreciate you taking some time. We really do.
Thank you.
And it's been fun. fun, and it's only going to get funner.
Yep.
All right. with a nervous yep.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, thank you. I
All right,
appreciate
Coach,
it. And
good luck.
Thanks to Railer Nation for coming out and supporting us or tuning in and viewing. I know there's, people who are Railer fans, all over the country, and it's really cool that so many people are behind us, and we feel that energy, and we appreciate it.
840, no? Huh? 816? 868 viewing the other night.
Cool. That's awesome.
And then another, I don't know how many were there, but a lot. So
yeah,
that was pretty good.
We feel that energy.
All eyes are on you now.
We appreciate it.
Remember that.
No pressure.
No pressure.
You're not going to be able to slide into any more basketball games and hide.
Yep, you're well known. You're on TV.
I got my baseball cap. It's all right.
All right, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks.
That's all we can say.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Good luck, Coach.
That's going to do it for the Cheap Seats today. I'd like to thank our listeners for listening, viewers for viewing, and boy, Monday's going to be fun. So get on out to Taylorville, short little drive, and cheer on those Lady Railers.
That gym only holds 1,300 people, so you better get over there early. Good day.
The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.